Hello, welcome to the KOREAZ channel. I'm Lee Hae-sung, host of KOREAZ Focus. There's a growing interest in the Pacific region in international politics recently. Today we'll be talking about the Pacific Islands, the 14 island countries located in the South Pacific Ocean.
Thank you for having me, first of all. My name is Tragar Albon Ishoda, and I'm the ambassador of the Marshall Islands to South Korea.
Hello, my name is Mijo Park. I'm Director for Asian and Pacific Regional Cooperation Division at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Korea. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Before I continue on, I brought two presents for you two.
From so sweet.
Thank you, from the Marshall Islands. These are made from the hands of Marshall Islands women, one of the atoll, Wache Atoll. So they make this from fronds, coconut fronds, and they weave these to look like flowers.
Wow. I'm gonna put it lower. Do I look good? Ambassador, I heard that you were designated to Korea not so long ago. So how are you settling in?
Well, very well. Thank you very much. I arrived in Korea in July. The family is settled in, and the boys are in school, so we're all ready to work.
And I read up on the Marshall Islands, and I saw amazing pictures of the emerald-colored sea and beautiful sandy beaches. Could you please introduce any activities or places you recommend to the followers?
Yeah, absolutely. So the Marshall Islands is a country made up of 29 coral atolls.
Wow.
And 5 islands. But nonetheless, very beautiful, tropical all around, and good diving, lots of good fishing, known for a unique surfing and windsurfing activities, and offers those range of sporting activities. Bikini Atoll becomes one of the world spot diving for World War II wrecks. There was a nuclear test that took place.
Including the Marshall Islands, the Pacific Islands, which is everyone's dream vacation spot, has been in the spotlight recently. And what is the reason for that, Director?
With its beautiful nature, abundant fish and energy resources such as LNG and deep sea bed mineral resources, Pacific Islands have high economic potential. So many major countries are trying to strengthen cooperation with the Pacific Islands. Korea will also deepen cooperation and diversify the fields of cooperation with the Pacific Islands.
Let us look at some keywords related to the Pacific Islands. And the first keyword is Nasia, which means island in Greek. And I heard that you can split the Pacific Islands into 3 zones, or nasias, from a geographical or cultural point of view.
Pacific Islands can be split into 3 parts: Melanesia, Micronesia, and Polynesia. The Melanesia region is known for volcanic islands and tropical forest. And second, the Micronesia region.
That's right.
Yes.
My country.
Yes. Like its name, the small islands are spread across the ocean. Lastly, the Polynesia region, which means many islands, yes, is where the Disney movie Moana is based on.
Second keyword is climate change. And it is an issue for all human beings, but this issue is more important for the Pacific Islands since it directly relates to the survival of the people living there.
Pacific Island has many low-lying islands, which means that this region is more vulnerable to the rising sea levels and then natural disasters such as typhoons and tsunami, which is caused by climate change. Most countries are suffering from agricultural damage and shortage of drinking water due to climate change. So the PIF leader declared that the Pacific is facing climate emergency at the Pacific Island Forum Leaders Meeting last July. Yes.
I was shocked to see a video clip of a foreign minister of Tuvalu delivering a speech while standing in the ocean to show the impact of climate change. And this year, David Kabwa, the president of the Republic of Marshall Islands, urged the world to declare a war against the climate change monster. Could you explain in detail what this climate change means for the Marshall Islands in more detail?
Certainly the Pacific countries and Marshall Islands in particular becomes one of the first countries to be impacted at a very, very national scale. We don't have mountains, so we are seeing our shorelines being affected every time.
Very directly.
Very, very directly. Some countries, like the larger Pacific countries, they have places where they can move communities to higher grounds. But for us, it's not possible.
Actually, the animation Moana was my first experience to have interest in the Pacific Islands.
It's a story that resonates across the Pacific because if you really think inside the story, it's about understanding your nature.
Yes.
Ocean,
Right.
the living creatures around it. Being able to navigate from one place to another using the stars and using the ocean. So that is the other thing that the Marshall Islands is proud of.
And as a neighbor that shares the Pacific Ocean, how is Korea cooperating with the Pacific Islands to combat the climate change?
Yes. Korea is joining forces with the Pacific to address climate change. For example, through the project named Climate Prediction Service, we provide customized climate forecast information for the Pacific. Also, Korea is working hard in the field of renewable energy, such as constructing hydropower and solar power plants in this region.
Right. One of the things in Busan, by the way, Marshall Islands is supporting Korea for Busan 2030 Expo.
Wow.
So the idea of building floating cities. So floating cities that are off the grid, self-sustainable. So for countries like the Marshall Islands, that's interesting because, then it can become floating city.
So regardless of the sea level.
So it's, all of the ideas and the innovations
So interesting.
are here, yeah.
Recently, the first RK Pacific Islands Foreign Ministers meeting after the pandemic in Busan was a success, just like Ambassador said. But I heard that there are more things yet to come.
Korea is seeking to host the first summit next year. And we hope this summit will become a historic milestone for a big reform in our cooperation.
Ambassador, in what direction should the future cooperation between Korea and the Pacific Islands should be headed?
But one thing that I'm very interested in is culture. I think there is an opportunity to share cultures amongst the Pacific Islands and Korea.
So I really enjoyed the conversation with you too, and thank you for your precious time today with Korea's Focus.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.